Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Not Your Average Joel. So, we are on episode 13 already. Like I said, I can't believe that we are this far already. I've been on this journey for about a month and I've been enjoying it so far. And today we actually have a new guest with me today. And as I've had, you may have, if you've watched my previous episodes, you may have seen some of the same faces. So as we have a new face for me to introduce y'all to. This is Madison. I've known her since elementary school days. I've known her for a long time. We went to all of the Pinson schools together, from Pinson Elementary and Kermit Johnson Elementary, Rudd Middle School, and then we finished up at Pinson Valley High School. So as I've known her for a while, and I've kept up with her, even after high school, even though we haven't physically seen each other, but as well, I still keep up with her and her family through social media. So before I tell you what the topic is about, I'm gonna have Madison introduce herself and like let us know where she's from and like what she's up to these days as far as her work.
All right. Hey, I am Madison Wade, and thank you, Joel, for having me on your podcast today. I've pretty much lived in Pinson my whole entire life, minus 1 year in Mobile for school. But yeah, I've been in Pinson my whole life. I went to X-ray school at Wallace in Hanceville, and I got an associate's degree in I guess they call it I don't even know, diagnostic imaging, I think is what they call it. So basically, I'm just an X-ray tech. I do X-rays right now in pulmonary associates at Grandview Hospital, a little private practice there, and I love it. I enjoy X-rays a lot.
Yeah, like so it's definitely important to like get into a career field that like where you're going to enjoy your job, not just for some people may go into it for the money, but like so, you also want to go into a job where you have something that you love, definitely. So I'm glad that you're following and pursuing your dreams as far as that goes. So yeah, that is Madison, everybody. So today's topic is going to be a two-parter. So today I'm going to be talking to Madison about this topic, and then you will hear later on down the road from another friend that I know from school named Adrian. We will be talking about this topic of parenthood. So I know some people may be wondering why you don't have any children. Like, why are you wanting to talk about parenthood? And the reason why I want to talk about parenthood is because, well, one thing I do want to be a father one day. Like, so I do have love for children. Like, I've been a uncle since I was 5 years old. Like, because I have older brothers that, were married and, have children, of course, during that time. So really, in a way, I was closer to my nephews than like my older brothers, at that time when I was a kid. So I've always kind of been like somebody that takes care of my nephews and nieces. Like, well, I can't say I've ever changed a diaper, but I can say that like while the parents are talking, while the adults are talking, I'm like upstairs or downstairs, wherever we are to kind of watch over the kids. So yeah, like so I've been, kind of involved with a lot of kids, and like so I just want to hear from Madison's experience because she has in the last few years have became a mom. So like so I just want to hear how life has been for her, comparing it to before she had children to now becoming a mom. So I have a few questions that I want to ask her and get her take on it, and of course I will put my input or perspective into it as well. So we are going to go ahead and get into this first question. Well, actually, before we get into this first question, can you let everybody know your daughter's name and how old she is?
Yes, her name is Kendall, Kendall Wade. Kendall Jane Wade is her whole name. She is a little over a year, 16 months old. She's walking all over the place, talking all the time. So, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, as y'all know, with this COVID stuff going on, she is, I guess, a COVID baby. I guess if that's what it's considered. Where yes,
Yeah.
she was born during all this COVID craziness, to where there was COVID restrictions, and there was definitely good and bad things that came out of COVID. I mean, definitely not the deaths, but like I said, there were some teeny tiny blessings that came out of that, and like I said, especially babies still being able to come into this world and get to live and experience life, and hopefully we're getting farther away from COVID. I know it's still here, but hopefully we're getting to a better place with that. But so yeah, like, so her daughter Kendall is, like, so 16 months old, and as I'm just thought I would give that like a perspective thing because I guess I would still in a way consider you like what is considered a new mom? What like would you
I
say?
honestly don't even know what you consider to be, what the cutoff is. But I mean, I'm still growing and learning every day, and I probably will be, the whole time I'm a mom, because with each new stage of parenthood, you encounter new challenges that you have to adapt to. So I mean, obviously, when I'm a parent of a teenager, I'm not going to be considered a new mom anymore, but I'm still going to be learning every single day, just new challenges that I'm going to have to try to figure out as she gets older.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like I said, it is basically a learning experience as a mom each and every time. Like I'm sure even with my mom, like I had many siblings, and I'm sure there were still with each child, like she probably learned something new out of, a situation that may have happened that didn't happen to the other siblings. So that's just yeah, it's always a learning experience. You still learn even to this day. So that's definitely a very good point to make. So my first question is going to be, have you always had a desire to become a mom, or was becoming a parent just something that just happened and you're now just embracing the moment?
I've always wanted to be a mom. From the time that I was little, I remember I was 5 years old, in kindergarten one time, and there was this little boy that I had a crush on in daycare, and I don't remember telling my mom, but my mom had told me that one day I came up to her and I was like, "Mom, I don't know if I'm ready yet." And my mom's like, "Ready for what?" And I was like, "I just don't know if I'm ready to have kids with Ryan yet." Like I was thinking about babies from a very young age, and I've always wanted to be a mom. And I actually ended up having a miscarriage right before I had Kendall. It was a very heartbreaking and devastating thing that happened to us. It was very unexpected. I had that first baby, the appointment for that first baby, the first time I saw that baby on an ultrasound was March 2nd of 2020. I miscarried 2 days after that appointment. It was very heartbreaking, but I did feel God's hand on me the whole entire time, telling me everything was going to be okay. And then coming out of that, coming on this side of it, having Kindle, and like knowing what I went through to where I am now. And the beautiful thing about her birthday, like God is so intentional. And the beautiful thing about her birthday, she was born on March 2nd of 2021. That first baby's ultrasound was March 2nd of 2020. So exactly a year to the date I had my daughter. And another beautiful intentional thing about that day is that she was in the NICU from the moment she was born. Me and Luke, my husband, we came home from the hospital on a Thursday. She had to stay in the NICU an extra day. So we brought her home on Friday. We got a call from Luke's mom saying, "Hey, y'all need to come see granddad. He's not doing well." We went to go see him. He met Kendall on a Saturday, the day after we got home from the hospital. And then whenever we got home, we found out the next day that granddaddy passed away. So if if Kendall had been born a single day later than she was born on that very intentional day, then granddaddy wouldn't have gotten to see her before he passed.
Oh wow. Well, I'd say I'm sorry to hear about like the miscarriage and the loss of your granddaddy. Like I know that's heartbreaking things to go through, but like yeah, especially like but there's a beautiful side out of like hearing about her being born on like a year later from when the ultrasound and all that. So and it's always it's definitely great to hear that you've always had a desire to be a mom, and just hearing like the full circle of how it happened, and just seeing God's hand on you through it all. And Also, I'm definitely, glad to hear that there was some like there's always going to be that heartbroken, moments, but at the same time there is like peace at knowing that like Kendall is here and like she's healthy and like I said that your granddaddy got to see her. So like that's definitely a something that's going to be cherished definitely, forever. So definitely appreciate you sharing with me that.
Yeah.
So that's definitely miscarriages is definitely a hard thing to go through. Like I've had family members and all that, even coworkers, friends, that have gone through that and just hearing their stories, it definitely can be just hard, especially like I said when you're just so excited, especially when it's your first baby.
Mhm.
Like that's where it can be really hard. Like I mean, I know I guess it probably doesn't matter if it's your first baby or not, but just especially like being your first baby, it's like, I'm gonna be a mom, and then it's like not right now. It's
Yeah,
basically it's what it seems
I know
like.
what you mean. It hurts either way, but when it's your first and you're having that new excitement and it kind of cuts you like, well, I guess I'm not going to be a mom right now. And you start to wonder, like, because you don't have any other children. So you start to wonder, like, I mean, can my body hold a life? Like, is this something that my body's capable of doing right now? So,
Yeah, yeah, like I said, it is, those kind of questions and all that does come into your mind. Yeah, like I said, like, am I able to have children? Will I ever have children? And then sometimes just not saying that you were, but like there are moments where people may have just like they will lose their patience and like just wondering like, that's it, I'm never going to have children and stuff like that. So there's definitely a lot of struggles when it comes to yeah, just having a miscarriage or like going through stillbirth, or anything like that, or even like when your child is here, that like the sudden death infant
yeah.
syndrome.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that's yeah, going through that too. That's
But
those
that,
moments.
that gave me so much anxiety. Oh,
Yeah,
that sudden infant death syndrome. Oh, I had so much anxiety over that.
yeah, I can understand why. Like I said, it's definitely hard, like especially like you carry that baby all that time and then like so the baby's here and then just like that gone. Like and it's just listen, we know that there are reasons why it happens and
They actually found there's new research out that they actually found the reasoning that sudden infant death syndrome is happening.
hmm,
Um, there's some kind of gene or some kind of chemical hormone that's produced by some kind of gene that I can't remember all the scientific names of everything, but basically there's this hormone or this gene or this chemical compound that this baby is missing at birth or lacking in. And so it's like it's something that causes the baby to wake up from sleep and become
hmm.
aroused after sleep. And so which is why it happens the most when babies are sleeping in their crib because they don't get that arousal to wake up. So they're going to try to like synthesize that hormone or chemical compound or something to be able to like test for babies that are lacking in it so that they can help those babies produce that so this won't keep happening.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so I'm glad to hear there is actually some research on, that now that like yeah, hopefully that we can, find a, it's a solution, to why this is happening. Like, so I'm glad to hear that there's some, like there's at least something to start with there. So just hopefully and we can get down to where, that will become less and less frequent and less of that it will eventually just, not happen. Because like I said, it is a hard thing to go through, but at the same time, we know that there's a reason, there's to be born and to die, stuff like that. So I know it's just it's definitely all in God's hands, but that's definitely a good like starting point for sure. So, for me, like as far as like I've like have I always had a desire to become a parent, it is definitely yes. I know I kind of answered it a few minutes ago, but so I've always like I guess ever since being younger, like I've always, had younger, whether it's my two younger siblings or whether it's, my nephews and nieces and I just always feel like I like to create a bond with like each of my nephews and nieces and almost in a way now that I'm older, I feel like I like take care of them like they're almost like they're all like my own kids, even though they're not. So, like, I guess I would say definitely yes. Like, I still have a desire to be a father one day and one a husband as well. But for this topic, we're talking about parenthood. Liza and I would love to just to just have that family dream of like having a wife and children and all that. So